I'm going to easily put this in my pocket. Well, hello, good people. I'm Dimitri, and let's check out what MetallicGear has to offer in the new year. And as usual, big thanks to our sponsors, Razer, Phanteks, Be Quiet, and Thermaltake for making CS 2020 possible. 2020, my friends, is going to be, I feel like it's going to be inspired by what Apple has recently launched. And this is the Neo Pro. Obviously, this is going to be called maybe the cheese grater case. And this is something that we've seen mock-ups of in the past from previous companies. And now we have that from MetallicGear, which is the budget brand powered by Phanteks. And this is something that I'm personally really excited about because this mesh isn't just for looks. Of course, the aesthetic element is part of it, but airflow and silence are too. So the mesh is actually quite large in terms of letting air through. But the way this mesh is designed, it's also blocking out a lot of the noise. Don't worry about the dust. There is a dust filter. It sits behind the cheese grater plate. As you can see, it's fine mesh, so it is very nice for airflow. It will catch any dust that passes through the cheese grater front. And we have a pretty capable interior with the Neo Pro that can house an ATX motherboard. We have dual 120s and 140mm fan support at the front. We have a dual hard drive cage in the front as well that you can pull out, good for SSDs and hard drive cages. These cases will be included with a rear exhaust fan, a 120mm, and for $59, this looks like a really good budget solution that actually looks pretty sick, both in silver and black models. As for the AO, it's pretty standard, dual USB 3s, audio jacks, power and reset buttons. The frames are based on the Neo Silent design, but without the top fan mounts. But we still have a nice TG mount without the thumb screws on the side. Now they've been relocated to the rear, so the whole side is beautiful. And like for $59, this, yeah, I would rock this. A really good budget option if you want that whole Mac Pro look with a nice affordable system too. And this is the Neo Matrix. As you can see, the Matrix in the front is pretty cool. We have seen similar designs from Inwin, but unfortunately those cases were really expensive. So the Neo Matrix, surprise, surprise, given MetallicGear's budget orientation, is $89. So actually pretty affordable if you're going for something that looks this different and this unique. I have asked them about how many effects and presets will be included, and they told me many. There will be many to satisfy your digital ARGB goodness. In terms of tempered glass, we have the side mount just like on the Neo Pro that also has a thumb screw at the back for that clean aesthetic. And the front panel here is also glass. It's not plastic, so don't worry about scratching that whole thing. Also, the airflow here is a little bit more restrictive versus the Pro, but they have spaced out the panels so that we have reasonable airflow coming into the case, given what this case is designed for. The Neo Matrix does have this whole ventilation up top, more budget-friendly orientation, dual 120 mounts, and the same I/O as the Neo Pro, dual USB 3s, and your color buttons, so you can cycle between different presets, all through physical buttons. This does not have software, which is something that we actually appreciate. I was asking to see if there'll be like a clock version where you can see what time it is, or if you see any emails, notifications, whatever. Nope, none of that. It's all physical based. And let's just change up some color live. Hello. I mean, the actual color and the uniformity of each individual square is absolutely beautiful. This is what I would expect for an $89 case. Now that you know about Neo cases, the Neo Pro and Neo Matrix, you might want to spice up your case with neon LED strips. And these have launched already last year. You can use these flexible LED strips to potentially highlight things like your motherboard, to potentially highlight certain other areas of your enclosure. This is really interesting. So check this out. This is a 90-degree little connector that you could potentially mount to a motherboard standoff or a fan. So you have a little bit of flexibility on where they actually go, giving you these sort of beautiful right angle connectors for these LED strips. And in this particular case, highlighting this motherboard very well. And I like that they don't look perfect because they almost look like those neon lights that you actually would see on the street, and they're never perfect. Like, for example, this little run is not exactly straight. And I think that gives you a little bit of a character for the case. They are available in different lengths, which is cool, so you can customize depending on what hardware you want to highlight. A few cool things over here is you can cut the actual strip to length depending on what you want, or you can also daisy chain them because they all have the initial tip and the end tip into which you can connect and daisy chain multiple strips. They start at $14.99 all the way up to $21.99. A pretty cool way to customize the interior of your system or the exterior, whatever your heart desires. And this, my friends, is the exterior example using those neon strips. Right beside, something that I did not expect to see at Phanteks is the new Evolv soundbar. It's still in prototype stages, but they have evolved from the Evolv Sound Mini that we saw at Computex, that looked like the Evolv speakers. And these are kind of after the Evolv Shift and the Shift X enclosure, which is something really cool. They can be stacked together like this in stereo mode. They can be also used individually in a sound bar profile if you're after that, because they can be placed down. I did not expect to see speakers from Phanteks. I guess you didn't either. They sound pretty good, nice bass profile. Obviously, ARGB 2 that connect to the system. You can fully customize and sync what you have on the interior of the soundbar to what you have on the actual enclosure. I guess we're there. ARGB speakers. Yeah. All right, good people. That is it from MetallicGear and some additional Phanteks goodies in the suite. Let us know if you want us to review this. I actually really want to. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you in the next video.